Good evening, and welcome to this addition to our Pravancha lecture series. Welcome all of you on behalf of Dr. Mark Carr, who couldn't be here this evening. He's the director of our Center for Christian Bioethics, and he sends his regards. In your hands, we hope there are cards on which you can write questions for our speaker, and we'll collect those after he's finished speaking, and then I will triage them and direct them to our speaker so that we can attend to as many of them as possible. So if you don't have one of those cards, we'll see to it that you get one at the break. Let me just check. How many of you do not have cards? We'll see where you are. There are a few here, so I'll make sure that we card. Let me just say, Aaron, there are a few down here in front who don't have cards if you want to supply them with some. And they're right down here. Just raise your hands and Aaron will provide you with the cards. I have long looked forward to this evening when I could introduce one of the world's great thinkers and great humanitarian scholars. It was my privilege to meet Dr. Hassan Hathout in Cairo about 2 or so years ago. Dr. Hathout received his graduate training in Great Britain at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. He holds the Doctor of Medicine degree. He also has a PhD in reproductive genetics. He is a fellow of the Royal College of Surgeons. He is a fellow of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. And subsequent affiliations include a fellowship in the American College of Surgeons, International Federation of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and the World Health Organization Committee for Medical Ethics. He's also been an active member of the WHO Committee on Human Reproduction and a close affiliate with the Vatican. He is the co-founder of the International Islamic Organization of Medical Sciences, a prestigious organization which had organized the conference in Cairo, at which we were both attendees and speakers. And Dr. Hathout was a keynote speaker for the first Christian-Muslim celebration at the White House in 1999. He's a nationally and internationally recognized leader in medical ethics and in Islam. Additionally, he's the co-founder of the Interfaith Council of Southern California and a recipient of many awards from interfaith and humanitarian communities. He's the author of numerous medical, ethical, and religious manuscripts, chapters, and books, including The Spirit of the Red Cross in the Teachings of Islam, Reading the Muslim Mind, Thus Shall I Stand Before God, and Audible Silence, a book which I have read on spirituality, which moved me deeply. His most publicized poems include The Migration, The Prince of Peace, and The Son of Man. He resides in Pasadena with his wife, who is also a physician and a retired pathologist, and his daughter, Dr. Eba Hathout, is a professor of pediatrics here at Loma Linda University and with us this evening. Welcome to Dr. Eba Hathout. I hope that you'll take this moment, an opportunity to join me in welcoming to this podium Dr. Hassan Hathout.
It's my honor and a pleasure to be in Loma Linda for the second time in my life. The first time was when my daughter, Eba, was being interviewed for a post and gave a lecture. And I do remember that after the lecture, Dr. Mace came to me and said, "Genius." And I just answered, "Genetics." And he looked at me so sharply that I immediately answered, "It's her mother." I don't think every day you have a Muslim for speaker. For the duration of this lecture, I'm asking you to cast away anything you hear about Islam, especially these days. Before talking about the embryo, I would like to give you a small briefing about what Islam is all about. Fortunately, this is Loma Linda, and I can safely say that the solid and center is God is. Not all people believe it. Not all academia believe it. But you and I do believe it. He's the creator. He has different names in different languages. In Arabic, the name is Allah. In Hebrew, it is Yahweh. In French, it is Dieu. In Latin, it is Theos, etc., etc., etc. But how many gods are there? One. Simply because God is infinite in all his attributes. And there cannot be two infinities. One for the Jews, one for the Muslims, one for the Buddhists, one for the Christians. None would be infinite if there were more than one. And so, our Creator is one. And you ask me, what do you mean with infinite? And I tell you, I do not know. I am finite, so I cannot encompass the meaning of the infinite. But infinity is a scientific fact taught in mathematics and as a special mathematical sign. So, the primary and ultimate creator is God. He created earth and all things. And on earth, he created atoms, following atomic laws wherever they are.